Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Sanji has never been the kind of character who needs a devil fruit to shine. Ever since he was introduced back at Barati, he's shown that just his legs and a solid sense of conviction are enough to take on any enemy. But what if the world of One Piece had a devil fruit made just for him? Not one that already exists like the Suke no Mi, but something completely new, tailored to who he is, what he stands for, and what he could become. I think that's totally possible, and maybe even part of his future at some point. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Maybe the perfect fruit for him would be the Kaji no Mi, the pure flame fruit. And no, not like Ace's Mira no Mi. This would be different, something that gives the user control over a flame powered by passion, physical drive, the fire of determination, a flame that doesn't burn objects but reacts to willpower. The more focused and determined the user is, the stronger the flame gets. Imagine Sanji with flames that grow as he protects someone, defends a woman, or fights for something he truly believes in. That fits him perfectly, because for him, true strength doesn't come from technique. It comes from why he's fighting. This fruit would give him insane speed boosts and bursts of heat he could channel through his kicks. He wouldn't stop being who he is. It would just add an emotional layer to his combat. The heat from his legs could shift based on his emotions, taking the Diable Jam to a whole new level. Instead of just physical flames, he could launch waves of heat that cut through the air and change the trajectory of his kicks, almost like a fiery dance. And the coolest part? The fruit would respond to empathy. If Sanji's saving someone who desperately needs help, the flames could turn white, almost divine. Now, if we wanted to get even more creative, another fruit that would fit him could be the Gurume no Mi, the spiritual cuisine fruit. It would let Sanji channel energy through the food he cooks. Each dish would have a different effect, depending on the ingredients and how it's prepared. He could, for example, cook something that gives an ally a temporary boost, or make a meal that calms a raging enemy. But the best part? He could eat the food himself and unlock different forms. Like a dish made with sea pepper and sea king meat could give him a more aggressive form, with explosive kicks and increased durability. A lighter dish made with rare fruits and herbs might give him an almost intangible form, where he moves so fast it's like he vanishes. The twist is, he'd need to prepare these meals before battle, like a true kitchen strategist. That highlights something unique about him. He's a cook who fights not for glory, but to protect, to nourish, and to keep his crew going. Nobody else in the Straw Hats plays that role, and if you think that would take away from his fights, think again. Now, every battle becomes a tactical experience that only he can pull off. He's not just throwing kicks, he's choosing how to fight based on what he's prepped. It adds layers to his character. He becomes like a culinary alchemist. Of course, he'd still follow his #1 rule. Never use his hands to fight. His hands are for cooking. Picture him preparing a quick dish mid-battle using only his legs, or even cooking in mid-air, using the fire from his kicks to heat up a meal that changes the course of the fight. Another idea, more symbolic maybe, would be the Kibo no Mi, the hope fruit. This fruit would let the user inspire others so strongly that it boosts their strength, just through presence or words. The user would emit positive energy that could empower allies, make enemies hesitate, and even reverse negative effects like exhaustion. It'd have to be in the hands of someone with unshakable convictions. And Sanji is that guy. Even when he's completely broken, he never stops believing. When he asked Luffy to save his world during Whole Cake Island, he showed not just vulnerability, but deep faith in the people he loves. Now, imagine a fight where everyone's on the verge of collapse. Sanji shows up, and just seeing him makes morale shoot through the roof. And if he combines that with his raw strength, he becomes a natural battlefield leader. The fight becomes more than physical, it's psychological too. This fruit wouldn't give flashy superpowers, but it would amplify what's already inside people. It could even help others temporarily unlock their full potential. Imagine him helping Usopp hit an impossible target, or pushing Zoro into an even deeper state of focus. He'd be like a catalyst for strength. Of course, like any fruit, it would have limits. Maybe it only works on people he truly believes in. If he doubts someone, the power doesn't activate. That keeps things fair, and narratively makes sense. Sanji isn't naive. He knows who to trust. Now, going down a wilder path that probably wouldn't ever be used but is fun to imagine, there's the Shun no Mi, the rhythm fruit. This one would let the user turn any movement into a rhythm that affects reality around them. In Sanji's case, every step would create vibrations in the air that mess with enemies' senses. He could create sound illusions, throw off his enemy's sense of direction, or even make the environment feel different, all based on the beat of his steps. Since he's already super fast and technical, He could use this fruit to bring chaos to the battlefield without ever straying from who he is. It would be like a dance. Every fight becomes choreography that only he knows. It fits perfectly with his already fluid visual style. He could play the battlefield like music, controlling the rhythm of the fight and forcing others to keep up or get lost. A cool twist to this fruit could be him creating sound effects with his kicks, and those sounds could affect his enemies' minds, like a controlled symphony of chaos. But of course, all with class. He wouldn't be some wacky bard, he'd be a devilish ballet fighter. And finally, there's a fruit that might seem simple, but could be super powerful in the right hands. The Yaku no Mi, the pressure fruit. With it, the user could control air pressure around them. That fits Sanji's kicks perfectly. He could increase the pressure around his leg before a kick, causing an explosion on impact, or decrease the pressure around himself to move faster. He could even trap attacks inside zones of extreme pressure. And since he already fights using the air, jumping, dashing, or flying with Skywalk, it meshes perfectly with his fighting style. But what if it were a devil fruit we've already seen? Back in chapter 464, Sanji reveals that his dream was to have the Suke no Mi, the invisibility fruit. He even gets furious when he finds out Absalom had already eaten it. Eventually, though, he gets a suit that gives him that power, even if just temporarily. That shows invisibility was more of a personal desire for him than something he needed for combat. Now, if we think about a fruit that would actually enhance his abilities, the Sui no Mi, Senor Pink's fruit, could be an interesting choice. It lets the user swim through solid surfaces like the ground or walls. Imagine Sanji using that to move unpredictably in a fight. He's already fast, but with this power, he could attack from angles no one would expect. Plus, considering he's an excellent swimmer, it fits well with his natural skills. Another option that might work is the Pika no Mi, Kizaru's fruit, which allows the user to move at the speed of light. Sanji's already known for his speed, so this would take it to a whole new level. But then, there's the question, could he even control that kind of speed? And more importantly, would it take away from the essence of his fighting style, which is more about technique than just raw speed? There's also the Kuku no Mi, Struisen's fruit, which lets the user turn objects into food. As a chef, Sanji could get really creative with it, maybe even feed allies during battle. But in terms of fighting power, it doesn't seem all that useful. In the end, I think the Sui no Mi is the devil fruit that would fit Sanji best. It would boost his abilities without changing who he is. Plus, it'd give him more tactical options and surprise attacks, something he already does, but that would be even more effective with this fruit. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.